Let's talk about the UK's right to work laws. Now, I'm a British person. Recently, I was homeless, unable to rent in this country where I was born because of the right to rent laws. I was unable to work in this country because of the right to work laws. And the reason why that was the case was because when I was made homeless, the first thing I did was update my documentation. I sent them out to DVLA because I needed a photo ID for everything. And the only photo ID I could get at the time was a driving licence because mine was a paper one, it needed updated, so I sent it away in the middle of a COVID pandemic, which meant it was gone for 3 months. In those 3 months, I had no identification. I couldn't rent a property when I was homeless. I couldn't work when I was homeless. All I could do was hope people would put me up and feed me. I was left with no other alternative but to live off the charity of others for months because of this Right to Work Act and the Right to Rent Act. Now, it was supposed to affect immigrants coming into this country. It was supposed to stop people working here illegally. It was never supposed to stop people entitled to live and work here from living and working here. However, in 2014, David Cameron made changes to the Act. And his changes basically made sure it became an offence if people were allowed to work illegally here. So now every company checks documentation really religiously, which means people like me are being denied work right now. It's happened today because of the right to work checks. A British person has missed out on 2 jobs in the UK in the last 2 weeks because of the right to work check. And I do have my documentation now. So that check shouldn't be failing, should it? But it is. And the reason why it's failing is because it goes through third-party companies. Third-party companies are often aren't even in the UK. And you send all your documentation off to this foreign company. In this case, it's on FIDO, I believe. Right? Now, I've had 2 jobs applications with Tesco's, right, fall through because the link they sent me to on FIDO simply doesn't work. And there's no way there's nothing on the on FIDO site that tells you how to contact them about the issue. So that's 2 jobs I've missed out on because I need, as a British person, to prove I am British and I'm entitled to work in this country. And I haven't got them because I was unable to send documentation I now have to the company's fact-checking site or to the ID checking site. Meanwhile, as if to make it worse, I do actually have a government ID. Once all my documents came through, I made sure I got a government ID so I could log in and do my tax. So now I have a government ID to log into the tax site to print out the tax paper thing. And that's a lot stricter test than I've ever seen. But I can't use that. I can't use that or anything I could do from that to prove I'm eligible to work here because they don't ask for it. It's not standard. I've got to go through from some dodgy third-party company, right, who I don't know, isn't in this country probably, doesn't have any working sites or anything else like that, and gets a 2-star review on Trustpilot instead. They did all of this to keep people who hate immigrants happy. They're supposed to stop them working over here so the far right types don't get upset about it, because that's who Cameron's voters were. That's why we're in the state we're in now. That's where it all started falling apart. All he's successfully done is he's changed the universal credit system so you're only allowed to earn £2.70 a day, before they dock all your money. Bus fares cost £3.70. So if you bus it to work, you're losing £1 a day. That's one of Cameron's ideas right there, David Cameron. That's what he introduced when he did universal credit, right? And that's after the recent rise in money. Says also, you've got a situation going on where all of this immigrant stuff, that he used to get himself elected was just a doorway, to number 10. He never gave any thought whatsoever to how it was going to affect people's lives, or whether it would even affect British people like myself. Now, I've made videos about this while homeless, about how it was holding me back, how it kept me on the street, how people's own bigotry meant laws got made that now affect British people that were never aimed at British people. And this is one of them. The Right to Work Act, the Right to Rent Act, well, I don't know if it's an act, but the Right to Work laws and the Right to Rent laws, companies like On Fido that don't even work, the site doesn't even work. I mean, the whole thing is an absolute disaster. I mean, I can understand, we got lots of people coming over here illegally that want to check. But look at me. Do I look like I'm from Africa? Do I sound like I'm from Western Europe? Yeah? You have to see me. You can see me in an interview. My accent alone will tell them I've been here for decades. I was born in England. I'm not telling you anything more than that because this is public, and there's certain things you don't say on a public place, and that's your private details. But I am the very definition of an English worker. I can't get work in my own country because of laws introduced to keep bigots happy. And the people who have implemented it haven't even done a good job on it, because it's literally stopping me with my documentation from working in this country because the system they've implemented doesn't function. So well done, Conservatives, well done, British government, well done on Fido. You basically failed, right? Anybody on there wants an ID check, come to me. I can guarantee I'd work better than they do. Because quite frankly, anything I do that does work, it'd be one up on them not working, wouldn't it? Even if I just go, yep, you look like you're British, it's going to be an improvement over not working at all. Anyway, this On Fido thing, the link that Tesco keeps sending out, has never worked for me. I keep missing out on jobs because of it. It's just an endless loading circle. Trustpilot reviews, 2 stars. I gave them 1 star. And they didn't even deserve that because, quite frankly, 1 star suggests it works badly. But it's not working at all. So they shouldn't have even got a star. So anyway, the whole situation stinks. Right? It needs sorting out. And as soon as we get rid of this right-wing bloody government that's bloody too into keeping immigrants out and not keen enough to get British people working again, the better. Because quite frankly, these laws, to just keep bigots happy, are holding us all back. They are. You ever end up, I know people, by the way, who haven't been through all the nightmare I've been through this year, who are having problems as well. Because very few people, right, it says pay attention to the documentation till they really need it. And by that time, it's too late. Anyway, mark my words, right, On Fido, British government, right to work, right to rent checks, not fit for purpose. See you in the next one.